Hello teachers, good afternoon. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's me, Teacher Joy. So kung bago ka pa lang sa ating YouTube channel, paki-click ang subscribe button para updated kayo sa mga bagong videos natin. Alright, so hindi na natin ito patagalin pa. Let us check your 5 items assignment. Let's start with number 96. What should I employ when teaching skills critical to learning the next topics? A. Direct instruction. B. Mastery learning. C. Socratic method. D. Cooperative learning. Ano ba yung dapat gamitin, no? When teaching skills critical to learning the next topics. Ang ating tamang sagot dito ay letter B. Mastery learning. Mastery learning ensures that all students achieve a high level of understanding and prerequisite skills before moving on to the next topic. Bilang teacher, hindi tayo makakaproceed sa next lesson or next topic natin without achieving, yung mga students natin kung naintindihan ba nila or naipasa ba nila yung ganong topic. So, ganon. So, para malaman natin if they passed or if they achieve is, of course, gagamit tayo ng mga quizzes or tests, di ba? So, since the question specifies teaching skills that are critical to learning the next topics, this diagnostic step-by-step approach prevents learning gaps from compounding over time. So, yun, mastery learning. Okay, so now let's move on. Tingnan muna natin yung ibang mga options, no? Direct instruction, ito ay teacher-centered. So, direct instruction is more on teacher strategy, no? Ganon siya. So, more si teacher yung centered, si teacher yung mas bosses sa loob ng classroom. Socratic method from Socrates, this is very familiar with you guys. This is a question and answer, no? It's a discussion, a question and answer, ganon. Cooperative learning naman, this is cooperation with other groups or members. So, it's a cooperation, collaboration, yan yung cooperative learning. So, pakitandaan po yung mga basic words nila or hints nila. Okay? Now, 97. I use the gomamela flower, a complete flower, to teach the parts of a flower. Which method did I use? So, si teacher ay gumamit ng gomamela flower para mabigay niya sa mga students niya yung mga parts nito. So, anong uri ng method yung kanyang gagamitin? A. Demonstration method. B. Type study method. C. Drill method. D. Laboratory method. Okay, kapag, di ba, ganito, nung tayo ay nasa elementary or even nung high school tayo, di ba, nagdo-drawing si teacher ng flowers sa blackboard and then merong mga parts. So, anong uri niyan? It's a letter B, type study method. Ang type study method, it involves choosing a single concrete and typical specimen or a type that perfectly represents an entire class or group of things. Because gomamela is a textbook example of a complete flower, no? Yun yung mga main parts niya, yung mga petals, sepals, stamens, and pistils, na, di ba, may mga araw-araw yan. This studying the single representative flower allows students to understand the anatomy of all other complete flowers by extension. Sometimes, kapag sa science subject naman, di ba, nagdo-drawing si teacher ng ating skeletal system, no, parts of the body, mga ganon-ganon. So, it's a type study method. Ganon siya. Okay, tingnan natin yung demonstration method. Demonstration method is something na you are demonstrating or you are showing. So, hindi to demonstration method kasi si teacher ay hindi nagpapakita ng flower mismo, kundi nag-draw lang siya sa blackboard and then yun. Drill method naman, like what we're doing in our group chat, it's systematic repetition, memorization, and continuous practice. So, drill method yon. Laboratory method naman, ito ay, Syempre, ito ay experiments, handle apparatus, test hypothesis, no? Yun, it's a hands-on experiments. Ang ating tamang sagot ay letter B, type study method. Okay, now let's move on. Number 98. Other than finding out how well the course competencies were met, a teacher also wants to know his students' performance compared with other students in the country. What is he interested in doing? A. Formative evaluation. B. Authentic evaluation. C. Norm reference evaluation. D. Criterion reference evaluation. So dito, I see a lot of you guys got the correct answer. Ang ating tatandaan dito ay si teacher, no, gusto niyang malaman yung students' performance kumpara sa ibang mga students dito sa bansa. So ano yung interested siya? Ano yung gagamitin niyang evaluation? Kapag comparing to other students, is it letter C po, norm reference evaluation. Ang norm reference evaluation ay nagkokompara sa isang performance, no, laban sa iba pang performance ng mga kabataan. So it's from the word norm group. Ayun. So national standardized tests like the National Achievement Test or College Entrance Exam are mga examples ng ating norm reference evaluation. Okay. Ang opposite ng norm reference evaluation ay criterion reference evaluation. Tandaan, ang criterion reference evaluation ay isang evaluation na ano naman siya, yung kanyang babasihan dito is the word criteria. So dito, hindi ka magkukumpara sa ibang students or sa ibang group of students, yes. Kundi, yung ikukumpara mo dito is yung criteria, kung na-meet ba nila yung criteria. So, kapag norm reference, tandaan, compared with other students, yung level or yung performance. Kapag criterion reference naman, compared sa criteria na nakabase siya sa criteria level. So, ganon. Okay? So, if you have some question, paki-comment lang po. So, formative evaluation naman, teachers, ito ay mga ongoing feedback to improve teaching. From the word formative, di ba? Meron tayong formative test. Okay, so formative evaluation is just the same. Yun yung mga formative exams niyo. Okay. Authentic evaluation naman, from the word authentic, meaning ito yung mga evaluation na pang real world or practical tasks. Example, mga portfolios, performances, or mga project. Basta it's more on authentic. And yung opposite naman ng authentic is of course yung traditional na ating paper and pencil test. So yun lang. So tandaan nyo po yung bawat options na yun kasi lumalabas yan. And now, let's move on. Number 99. Okay, so after a lesson on the atom, the students were asked to work on a physical atom model to determine what to learn. For which group of students is building an atom model intended? So, natapos na yung lesson nila, no? And then, ang mga students ay inas ng teacher na mag-work ng physical atom model para ma-determine kung ano ba yung natutunan nila. So, ano yung atom model intended? Ano yung intelligent na yon? A. Interpersonal intelligent. B. Kinesthetically intelligent. C. Mathematically intelligent. D. Linguistically intelligent. So, dahil gusto nilang mag-work sa physical model, the word work, ano ito? Kinesthetic. Ayan. So, actions, movements, ayun. So, kinesthetically intelligent. Kinesthetically intelligent, according to Howard Gardner's, no, sa kanyang theory of multiple intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence involves learning through physical movement, lahat ng mga actions, lahat ng mga movements, lahat ng mga hands-on manipulation, and mga tactile experiences. So, working on a physical atom model is a physical movement or a hands-on manipulation. So, it's kinetically intelligent ang ating tamang sagot. Now, let's familiarize the other options. Interpersonal intelligent naman, teachers, ito ay magaling kang makipaghalubilo sa ibang tao. You are intelligent in being friendly, no? You are interactively may interaction ka sa ibang tao. You know how to understand the situations of others, ganon. Interpersonal intelligence. So, yung opposite naman ng interpersonal is the personal. Yung intrapersonal naman is more on self lang, meaning you are ano yung tawag doon? Parang OP ka or out of place. Basta you are working on yourself lang, ayaw mo ng maraming taong nakikihalubilo sa'yo, mga ganun lang siya. So, it's self-smart, ganun siya. Ang interpersonal naman is a people smart, ganun yung tawag doon. Okay, so mathematically intelligent naman, from the word mathematics, you are very good in problem solution, in reasoning, calculating, basta lahat ng about sa math, no? Mga patterns, numbers, ganon. You are mathematically intelligent. Linguistic intelligent naman, ito yung mga English majors natin na magagaling sa mga linguistic, spoken, no? Mga words, language, reading, and vocabulary. So, iilan lamang yun sa intelligence ni Howard Gardner. Ngayon, ipapakita ko sa inyo ang ilan ba to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ang 8 intelligence ni Howard Gardner. Tandaan nyo yan si HG or Howard Gardner ay lumalabas yan sa LET exam. So first, verbal linguistic, more on language. Logical mathematical, numbers naman. Naturalist, ang naturalist teachers ay yung mga taong may green thumb. Yung mahihilig magtanim, mag-alaga ng mga plants, flowers, gano'n, naturalist. Bodily kinesthetic, ito naman yung, di ba, sabi ko kanina, yung mga actions, movements, lahat ng mga hands-on manipulation. Musical rhythmic, ito naman yung magagaling mag-create ng mga songs, kumanta, basta they like music. Interpersonal, ito yung people smart, magaling kang makihalubilo sa tao. Intrapersonal, ito yung self-smart ka, ayaw mo ng maraming tao, gusto mo ikaw lang, gusto mo sa loob ka lang ng room or whatsoever. Visual spatial, ito naman yung more on visually ka sa spatial, mga yon. Sight. Yes, and dito no, may isang dinagdag dito. So, plus 1, ito yung, hindi ako makasulat. But ito yung existentialist or existentialist intelligent. Existentialist is something, nagtatanong ka naman sa self mo, why I am here? Bakit nandito ako sa mundong to? Ganon. Existentialist, you are asking your existence. So, ganon. So, tandaan natin na according to Howard Gardner, ang ating talino ay hindi lamang nasusukat sa isa, but according sa kanya, there are multiple intelligence, diba? Totoo naman yan kasi there are circumstances na yung ibang mga tao magagaling sa math, but they are weak in language, they are weak in linguistic, di ba? Ganon din yung mga linguistic people, they are weak in math. So, parang ganon. Ayan. So, hindi ibig sabihin na you failed in your exam is hindi ka na matalino. Maybe you are more excel in some intelligences, according to Howard Gardner. Now, let's move on sa ating panghuling tanong. I want to use a diagram to compare the traditional and authentic modes of assessment. Which one is most fit? A. Affinity diagram, B. Tree diagram, C. Venn diagram, D. Fishbone diagram. Itong question naman na ito, teachers, ay more likely sa mga uri ng mga diagrams. Ngayon, yung hahanapan natin is ano bang uri ng diagram, no? Para magkumpara tayo ng traditional and authentic. So, ang ating clue is to compare. Kapag may nabasa kayong comparison, ang diagram na gagamitin natin ay walang iba kundi ang Venn diagram. Very good. Letter C. So, ito po ang halimbawa ng Venn diagram. Dalawang bilog, and then, sa gitna, ito yung kanilang similarities. Ito naman yung sa gilid niya, yung kanyang difference, and then difference din yung isa. Basta yan yung halimbawa ng ating Venn diagram. So, nung high school tayo or nung college tayo ay gumagawa tayo, especially English majors, gumagawa tayo ng mga iba't ibang diagram. So, yan. Venn diagram yan. So, Venn diagram is a graphic organizer for comparing and contrasting. Ayan. So, now, let's analyze the other options. Affinity diagram, teachers, ito ay more on business and planning tool used to organize large amount of disorganized data. brainstorm ideas, or qualitative notes into a natural thematic group. So, the affinity diagram is more on pang business siya or a planning tool. At tree diagram naman, ito yung, di ba, nung elementary tayo, gumagawa tayo ng mga family tree. O, ganito siya, tree diagram. Ito naman yung mga, hierarchical structures. Yung mga, yung mga lolo-lola nyo, o tapos nanganak sila ng nanay nyo, pinanganak kayo. Yung mga hierarchy, di ba? Yung organized, yung classification, yung nakasequence, ganon. So, tree diagram. Yun nga. So, fishbone diagram naman, ito, naka-create na kami before nito. Fishbone diagram, also known as the Ishikawa or cause and effect diagram. So, ito ay cause and effect diagram. Yung sanhi, tsaka yung bunga, ito yung ating gagamitin, ang fishbone diagram. So, ayun lang, teachers, pag-aralan yung bawat isa niyan. And hopefully, kayo ay may natutunan this afternoon. Yun lang. So, maraming salamat for listening and for watching. Once again, this is Teacher Joy and mabuhay kayong lahat. Bye, everyone!